Hi, it's Mark from TrainSpark. In this video, we're looking at an exciting new feature from WordPress called WordPress Playground. Now, WordPress Playground is available to anyone at playground.wordpress.net. You don't need an account or anything like that. But what will happen if you go to that address is that you will have your very own WordPress installation with admin area, ability to create posts, pages, and everything like that, all contained entirely within your web browser. Now, this is really exciting because normally to install WordPress, you'd need a web server, you'd need MySQL, PHP, and you'd need to install all of that and get it all running to be able to install WordPress. But this is all good to go. And you can see that it's all contained within your web browser because if you refresh, it all gets wiped and you end up back to an empty WordPress installation. And it's a really useful tool because you can use it to install plugins like LearnDash, try them out, try out different add-ons and plugins and themes and test bits of content, all within a safe place. And it's all contained within your browser, and you don't need to affect your live site to be able to make any changes. So it's a really quick way to test things. As part of it, you can also switch between different versions of PHP and different versions of WordPress to test things out. And you can also create snapshots of what's in here and re-upload them if you want to. So as I mentioned, if you refresh the page, you'll end up wiping everything, but what you can do is download what's here, including any plugins and pages and things like that you've created, and then re-upload them. So what we're going to do in this video is install LearnDash and a theme and create, add some content and just see how this works and how you might be able to use it within a LearnDash setting. So what I'm going to do, we've got our blank WordPress platform here. Firstly is install a theme, and the theme I'm going to use in this instance is called Kadence, and a lot of people will be familiar with that because a lot of people use it with LearnDash. It works quite well with LearnDash. And as normal, we would head to Appearance and Themes. And one thing to point out is that WordPress Playground at the time of recording doesn't connect to the WordPress themes or plugins directories yet. You have to download the plugins and themes and then upload the zip files manually. So what I'm going to do is upload my Kadence theme here that I've downloaded and then install it. You'll find things happen quite quickly here because it's all happening within your own browser. So if you're uploading things, you're not really uploading them to a different place. You just moving them inside your computer, so it's quite quick. So what we've done is installed Kadence there. If we look at the site, we'll be able to see that here. And what we're going to do now is install LearnDash as well. So we'll head to plugins and then look at the plugin install. So there's just one. I'll go to add new. And here is where we'll upload and install LearnDash. Now, I must add that I had to make a couple of small tweaks to LearnDash to get it to work with WordPress Playground. I won't go into them just yet, but if you are interested, perhaps you're a developer who's trying this yourself, I'll show you how I did that at the end of the video. I'm just going to click Install now. And then I'm going to activate the plugin. And once that's activated, which I think sometimes it's a bit quirky, sometimes you need to go to this page and then activate it. It is a brand new feature from WordPress, so it does have a few bugs here and there and a few error messages that pop up, but I'm sure they'll evolve this over time. It's brand new, and it says here experimental WordPress feature. So that's installed. We've got LearnDash. I'm going to dismiss the setup wizard just because I want to get on and start testing this out. So we can see here, if I skip this, that we've got LearnDash set up. And rather than start populating this with different courses and lessons and topics, what I'm going to do is just import some of those from another site. So if you're familiar and if you've watched our videos before, you'll see that we often use this sandbox environment here. And what I'm going to do is export the content from this and then re-import it into the WordPress Playground. So I'm just going to run the export feature here and just export all content here. And I'm going to go to the dashboard. And then I'm just going to go to Tools and then Import. And scroll down and go to Run Importer. And I'm going to just browse for that file that I just exported there and then import it. So this is just the standard WordPress import export functionality that you can use. I'm going to tick download and import file attachments, but I don't think this will work because of the way this WordPress Playground doesn't really connect to other sites in the same way a normal hosted WordPress site would. So what's happening now is that's just importing all of my content from this site to this one. And we can see that that's now completed, and it has failed to import all of these images and things, but that's okay. We can still test this out. So if I go to visit site, we can see that we've now got a few menu items and pages. So we've got, an about page that it's brought in. And, there's a few theme settings that it's lacking here, but you can broadly see what's going on. There's contact forms and things like that. So what I'm going to do is just go to all courses where the courses are listed, and just click on one of these and see what we can see here. So we've got the topics listed, or lessons listed here. We can see the topics within them. We can mark these as complete, and it's in essence we've got a working course within our WordPress Playground here. So this would be your opportunity to, perhaps edit lessons and play around with content and install add-ons and things like that, and be able to see what changes are made and try them in a safe space. I don't know if you saw there was a couple of error messages that appeared at the top. Again, that's just part of this experimental WordPress setup here. There are going to be a few bugs and things that happen, but broadly speaking, that works well. You're in Gutenberg here. You can add blocks. You could add, LearnDash course lists and course grids if you have that add-on installed, and use things that way. So naturally, you have to be careful you don't refresh your browser by accident. I've done that a few times. Everything you do has to be done within the interface here. So if you imagine this is like a mini computer, everything needs to happen within here. You can change the address within here and just go to maybe your home page there. So I just changed that, but everything needs to be contained within here. So once you've set things up, if you wanted to save what you've done, you can just click on this download here, and what that will do is download a zip file to your computer eventually. And what that will do is contain all of your, so it's 20 megabytes there. What it does is it contains WordPress, the plugins I've uploaded, and a snapshot of the database as things stand, so that if I was to refresh this and end up going back to square one, just an empty WordPress install here, I can restore back to what I had before. So if I was to do that, I would just click on this, upload, find the sandbox that I just exported, and then I can import it. And what it will do is refresh that, file imported, and we're back to where we were. So we've got all our courses back and things like that. And if you do this, what you want to do to log in is go to /wp-admin, and it'll take you to this page, and the username and password is the very secure admin and password, and then you can just log in as normal. So I hope you find that useful. We think this is a really useful tool just for testing things out in a safe space, and keep an eye on playground.wordpress.net because it is an experimental new feature that will be being developed over time, and I'm sure it's going to have some really useful benefits for lots of people testing things out and trying things. So I mentioned earlier that I had some issues installing LearnDash on this at the time of recording, and for anyone interested, I will just explain what the issues are. So what I'm going to do is just refresh that and go back to a blank WordPress site. If you just install the standard LearnDash that you download from the LearnDash's own website, I'll upload that here so we can see it. I've got this in here. Once you click install and head to install plugins and then activate, what you will find is that it runs into a fatal error because it's using these MB_string functions within the LearnDash core plugin. And the problem with this is this MB_ relies on a PHP extension called MB_string, and it seems that playground.wordpress.net doesn't have that enabled. So when you try and install LearnDash, you run into this. But what you can do is modify the LearnDash code if you want to, and go through and find anything with MB_string like that, and just replace it with just the string to upper. So PHP has native functions like string to upper, string to lower, and what MB has is just a bit more of an advanced version of that. So if you find any instances of MB_string, just convert them just to string, and that should then work. So that's what I did before. There's a few instances of MB_string that just need replacing, and once you do that, you'll be able to upload and activate it. So I hope you find that useful. If you did, please give the video a like, and if you'd like to see more like this, please subscribe to the Training Spark YouTube channel.